Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Knives Are Live. And good morning, Nick. Uh, Hold on a second. I got to grab my coffee. I'm totally behind this morning. You have to give me a minute to at least grab my coffee. All right, guys, I'm back. How's everyone doing on this fine Thursday morning? I have been up a while now. I think I woke up around 1 a.m. I have done very little to prepare for this morning. 3 inches of ice. Wow. That's crazy. So, I hope, I hope Sever7 gets up because he was wanting to see this. I think he said something about it in the audio yesterday, actually. So during the night, I have had a couple of knives on me. I have had, let's see here. Well, looks like my camera's a little crooked. Or maybe it's my rug. I think it's my rug. I've had this on me during the night. It's a FJ Laconico. I'm having to make myself... The action on this knife is super smooth. It's got perfect centering, perfect lockup, perfect, very sexy plain design to me. But it's on washers, and I've just grown to where I like drop shut knives, and most of them are on bearings. This one is super smooth though on washers. Like, even though you have to use your finger to kind of close it, it just feels even the whole way. So I'm gonna have to make myself enjoy this knife. I can shake it closed. It's just not what I like, so I usually use my finger. And I'm starting to dig the feeling of actually just simply pushing closed a nice smooth blade. I have to hold my arms way out in front of me to get them in the center of this camera. Unless I sit up like a ton. If I sit up, I can do it comfortably. That's a lot better when I'm showing stuff. I should be holding it up here. People can see it a lot better. I'm really impressed with this webcam. It's a Insta360 Link 2 or something. And I can only go live. I think you can only broadcast at 1080p when you're live, just because of YouTube's bandwidth or whatever. But videos that you record, you can upload up to 4K or maybe even past that 8K. I don't know. But it works great at both. It works good at 1080p and at 4K. And I've been, some knives are to... Oh, yeah, I know. It doesn't work that great as a front flipper. You have to Yeah, the front flipper really sucks because of the washers. I mean, you have to really get on it. I've got this one tightened up too, probably tighter than I would. Oh, yes, that program to turn any cell phone into a webcam, which is super cool, man. Cameras on phones are so nice nowadays, and the focus, autofocus, all that stuff is so much better than even the best webcams. It's called IV Cam. IV Cam. Oh, nice, man. Did you watch? You got to watch that Ari Shafir special, America's Sweetheart. Super funny, man. A lot of people think he's wild and crazy, but he's, well, he is, but he really is trying to become an older, responsible, great, human of a person. He's working on that, and I think it shows on his latest special. Yeah, some knives aren't made, I don't know that bearings make them better because of dirt. So, like, once you get a hard use knife and you get a knife that you're going to keep really dirty, then bearings, can. But of course, with the cost of bearings nowadays, you can just swap them out. I mean, I don't know. But in the long run, if you were out and didn't have access to bearings and only had the knife, this one would continue to function longer than that bearing knife. So in the end times, grab you one with washers because they're going to last longer than one with bearings, especially getting into all the blood and animal stuff when you're trying to survive in the end times hunting. And then really in my pocket, Den of Thieves too, cool. In my front pocket, I had this, which is the Severn. It who's AR? That's what I've been doing all night. I like the fact that this is just plain. No branding, except for the M390, which he's talking so much mess about how he's using original materials. And he did show the receipt of the Bowler M390 order from Austria. Alfred R. Cool. So, yeah, I've already ordered the 8, which is the M390. I've got the M390 version of the smaller one, too. Let me see if I can find it. Should be right over here. I've got, there's all 4 of the Rosie clones. There's an M390 Arius, Spectre, Factor Aluminum, Factor Titanium. They're right here. So I got I put these stickers on backwards. It's all good. This is the aluminum version of the of course I haven't used it, and it's not broke in. Needs a little love. It was always kind of hard to push the yeah, it did get better with time, but I got the titanium one. So I quit playing with it because I like the carbon fiber on the back here, and it's way better on the opening. But I got the M390 version of it, so I'm gonna have the M390. So I guess I can fill y'all in on my plan. Not that y'all care, but y'all wonder I know y'all wonder about how many knives. These aren't real, man. These are replicas, Nick. These are pretty much exact copy replicas. I've already ordered the 8, which is, I got the same in it. Yeah, they don't make an aluminum. That's this is a $70 knife, $60 knife, $70 knife. But these do have real M390. And they feel just like the originals. Lets me experience them when I wouldn't. I don't know, call it not fair, whatever. I'm not going to buy one regardless, unless they're around this price. I love the technology behind it. I totally respect the technology behind it. I tell as many people as I would ever see that these are great knives and you should go buy one from Winter Blades. That's what I would say. And I showed one of these and just told him it was a Winter Blades knife a guy at work with, and he went out and bought the M-Fire. Yeah, he went and ordered an M-Fire just for me telling him that this was Winter Blade Knife Company, and I showed him the actual website of the company, and he went and spent money with them. So if I can promote this brand any way possible, and you can't fight. I don't know. Yeah, it just makes me mad when I want to touch and feel what this mechanism acts like, and he's got the exact same mechanisms. I mean, he's got the magnets for the detent, so it holds the blade closed. So when you pull on this, you're pulling it away from a magnet, and it's got perfect detent. And then the magnets up here that pull this bar up, they're up here. They're perfect. This one has the hidden, of course, the shark lock hidden up here, and it works great. I have to kind of almost use my fingernail, though, because he made it flush. That's how the original Severn is. And the 8 goes back to this style, but with the bigger blade. So 4, 7, 8 factor. And this one doesn't have the ting that some of them say they have, because this is a cheaper blade steel. This is VG10 and aluminum. Or no, this one, the aluminum one is VG10 aluminum. This is M390, sorry. Both of these are M390, but this one is VG10. And it will loosen up. I just haven't messed with it much because I got those. Oh yeah, I know I would, and I promote them. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to promote them regardless. Yep. And I like the fact it doesn't have that labeling and all that stuff. Like, I don't want it to say factor there. I mean, I don't want it to say Severn or whatever. All right. So we've got this knife here. And we've got an extension cord. We've got a new camera mounted. And we got some work to do on this thing. So, let me see if I can look in my bag of wonders down here. I mean, my drawer of wonders. And find my little tiny Sharpie. So yes, keep Sharpies. Sharpies are good to have. These little ones, I don't know, they don't get used as much. And these double ones, the double ones are super cool. Yeah, that blue gray kind of color. It's more of a gray with it, but it's got that blue tint to it. Yeah, it looks great. These Sharpies, I always keep one handy. The ones with the double have the little fine tip. I don't know, they seem to quit working quicker, but the ones that I find that keep the best point are these little ones. I don't know, nobody uses the little ones. So, we're going to start with a flipper tab delete on this knife. And then maybe if Sever 7 shows up and he can explain to me what he's wanting to do about a reblade. And I'm pretty sure he said a Mac 2. He sent me a picture. I think he sent a picture somewhere and showed the corner that he wanted to take off of a scales. So I hope he shows up for that, because I do have some replicas of those that we can look at. But we're gonna do a flipper tab delete on this, and we're gonna do the backspacer rounding off of that Giant Mouse Nazca that I talked about the other day, that made that mark in my palm after just a couple of openings. So, what you need to do when you're doing a flipper tab delete, I'm not going to go over all the things about being a responsible adult using tools at an age where you think you can control the tools and be safe with them. I think, when you get, I'm explaining this for people that I think have enough self-awareness of themselves to know whether they should be doing stuff or not to their knives. So, at your own risk, being a sound-minded adult that understands power tools can hurt you, whatever, messing around, modifying sharp objects is something, you got to have a certain level of competency to start to attempt. So, that being said, it was said yesterday that you make sure you have good lighting. Good morning, laid off Pete. Drew Dude. There you go, Drew Dude. Then you can send them to me and I'll do them for super cheap, or you can send them to somebody else that'll do it twice as much. I'll do it for a video. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, so flipper tab deletes, it's not so much about when it's open. They usually stick out further when they're closed. Just to the, it's because of the size of where the pivot's at on knives a lot. They're more towards the blade side than the back side, and so that makes this distance further, or vice versa. Sorry. So they could be the same side, but there's more scale on this side, because a lot of people put guards out here that stick out because of the curve. So there's more room on this side. So the flipper length, when you flip it around, it sticks out less on the blade side than it does usually on the clip side. On the closed side. So always close the knife before you start doing any kind of marking. And then what I usually do is I just take the sharpest Sharpie that I can find with a good point on it, so it gets back in there. And if you don't know, before I even start marking on this, alcohol will take Sharpie right off super easily. And so I push it up in there as best I can. And I know which side I need to mark because of the way I hold the blade. But I'm going to show y'all just by marking both sides. And it's best to do this, with the knife assembled. I usually start looking at a knife during the night, and at some point it'll probably get this treatment if I don't like the flipper tab, and there's another way to open it. And I started out, before I started deleting them, by using like some nice Photoshop type programs to just delete the flippers digitally. And that's getting to be easier and easier, and super cool to be able to like add shapes to your knives just from a picture. You can kind of know what the blade window or blade hole would look like before you do it. I just mark it all off. You don't have to. But during the night, what I was explaining is I just mess around and I do the whole thing. So now we got it marked off. We can get that off of the scales. It's actually got a little jagged pattern right here, so that might end up cool. Like if I can match the flipper tab to match that design just by the black mark, that'll be super cool. And I don't know if you'll be able to see, but the black line will go back behind there a little bit. It's further on this side. And I can show y'all some ways to do it digitally without having to do anything. So, after you get that done, you're going to want to disassemble your knife. Folks, what's going on, buddy? Looks like I'm going to need a flathead too on this knife. I'm going to start with these back ones. We've done this a bunch because of the that I've already done a clip delete on this knife, so there's already been one mod done to this knife. I deleted it comes with 2 clips, and I deleted the second one and made a little insert piece for that. So yeah, I did that, and then we did the blade mod on it. So that was a second mod to it. And there's that back spacer that threw me off last time with this piece, because it goes in the outside there. All right, we got that done. Now we'll get the pivot out. This screwdriver kind of sucks for that, but luckily it doesn't take much. Man, I wish we had some crazy snow like that. That would be super cool. Man, we're just getting right into it today. I figured if we're going to be modding, it's going to take me a minute so I can talk while we're doing it. So now we got the blade out. You can see where we put the fingernail polish for the acid wash and stone wash. And right up here at the front of the, don't go forward of the detent ball hole try to stop even with it, because that little part shows when the knife is closed. Not much, but barely. So here we have the blade. So now let's get into talking about tools needed in a Dremel. You can get Dremels, all kinds of Dremels, rotary tools, what they're called. So they even make ones like this. Ron Dobbins, good morning. They even make rechargeable ones with the bits and cutoff wheels and polishing. And if you're just sitting around and want to mess around and you buy some of these nylon polishing brushes, then these are acceptable to polish with and clean. I wouldn't say when you want to do anything more than cleaning, you're going to need a little more torque and a little more oomph. This one also, I don't like how you have to go up through all the speeds. It just cycles through. I wish you could go up or down. I guess you can on this one. Sorry. You can on this one. The one that goes in this bag actually quit working. This doesn't belong to this brand. This was the second one I bought, because the first one I ran it out because I did do a little bit of cutting with it. I think I did a couple of tab deletes with it. No, I never did do a tab delete, but it still burned out. I ended up always using one with a plug. But anyway, they make these rechargeable ones, and you can get them, and they work for some things, polishing. Definitely not a nose hair trimmer, man. It comes with all the polishing bits, and the shank on it is made for those. It's got a lock button right here. You can unscrew it. It is a cordless rotary tool. That was a funny joke, though. Yeah, air power tools are something else, you know. You got to have something that plugs in, too. Can't always go out to the shop where the air tools are. So Harbor Freight makes a pretty cheap one. And this one is $20 at Home Depot, I believe. And it's got the extension where you can do like engraving, the little wand and stuff. But this one is Win brand. It's got the same kind of collar system. If you've never used a Dremel, they have a thing that locks the, they have a button down here that keeps it from spinning. So you can hand tighten, and they make different size inserts down in there with different size holes for different size tools. The one that's in this one is made for the larger size tools like the cutoff wheel and the sanding drum. Yeah, I just wish that the battery one had just a little bit more torque. So my suggestion would try to be to find one that has variable speed, that's pretty quick variable with the little roller. And I go slow with my stuff just to be careful. And I've had to set up a whole new camera angle tonight just to make sure that we are being careful, because I do it a certain way that I'm comfortable with. And sitting way out here, I mean, if y'all could see, I'm sitting way out at the edge of my couch so I can reach over and reach to the middle of this coffee table. So I'm not in the best position. I'm not in the most comfortable position. And I'm not in the most safe position, because floating around out here in the air, my arms are not supported by anything. So anyway, I had to set up a new camera. Before we start, there's going to be two tools I'm going to use. I'm going to use a cutoff wheel. And I've used the same one for the last 4 or 5, and it hasn't gotten much smaller. I go slow. Like I said, we're going to go slow. We're going to use that, and we're going to use one of these sanding drums. I would reuse this one, even though it's all messed up. I would use this edge right here but we're going to start off by replacing these little things. And I'm going to show you how they work in case you don't know. Super easy. But some people don't know. So they've got a hard rubber center in the middle of those things. And it's got a disc on either side. And it's got a bolt that goes through them. And as you tighten that screw or that bolt, it compacts that rubber thing and makes it swell out and hold the little... It makes these two little top... You screw this down, and both of these washers on both sides squeeze this thing together to hold this thing in place. So that's how they work. So as you loosen it, you need to kind of push in on it, because when you tighten it up, it swells it out. And that's what holds it. So as you're loosening it and you're wanting to try to get one of these off, and this little tool that it came with sucks. I'll just tell you that much. Have you a screwdriver handy that's a little bitty one? Because it's a pain in the butt sometimes to get these on and off, because that rubber inside doesn't want to go back together. You know, you're making it deform its shape, and the longer it's in there, like this has been sitting in here for who knows how long. So even if I take this screw completely off the end of this and that little washer on the end, it's still going to be hard to get this this drum off. So don't be disappointed if it takes you a minute to get the drums off after you've had it on there a while. But the new one should go on pretty easily. And like I said, a lot of times I'll end up taking this screw completely out, but right now it doesn't need to be, it's not tight. This washer's not being, it's just because that rubber inside there is not wanting to deform. Like I said, when you tighten both ends of this, it swells it up like a street tire when it's spinning. You tighten both sides of this together, it makes this get thicker. And so when you're trying to take them off and you just loosen the screw and it's been tight for a month, it takes it a minute for this rubber to go back down. So you push it back and it'll swell back out. But anyway, after you get, I use these until there's dang near nothing left on them. So this one happens to have a few of these left, but you need to buy you a set of this too, which is a set of all the parts. So there's all kinds of grinding for jewelry, polishing, cutting, engraving, ball mill end node, like there's all kinds of stuff. Drill, there's flap discs, there's more stones, there's cut-off wheel galore, there's all kinds of sanding stuff. That little tool is what I'm talking about. It's better to have a little screwdriver, because you can use a Phillips on the end of that thing too. Just as a heads up, it's got both flat and Phillips on the end of this. But anyway, that's how the little thing is. You push it and it swells out. Anyway. Thanks, Nick, for the small screw thing, the pressure. All right. Yeah, what all y'all carrying today? Did anybody pop in? Ron Crow, you're back. Ron Dobbins, we got the two Rons. We got Nick. We got Pete. We got Fuchs. We got Bob. And that's it for now. So anyway, get a new one. And like I said, if that rubber has been squished for a little while, it can take, it's a little difficult to get it back on there. But just keep working it back and forth and you'll get it. Or you can let it sit for a little while and let that rubber go down. But it doesn't take much to get it back on there. And then when you tighten it back up, it's going to squish those two washers together and make that expand on the inside. Provide more pressure. So it's definitely tight right now already, when I had already loosened it quite a bit. So it did stretch out when I was pushing on it. All right. So now that's locked on there. That's not the first tool we're going to use, but I just wanted to go ahead and get that out of the way before we started. And I always put this tool right back in the bag. Don't set it to the side. You're going to need it again soon. And you won't find it if you don't leave it with the rest of the stuff. Just a suggestion, but I've been doing this a little while and lost stuff. So, all right. So we got our two things we're going to use: cut-off wheel and a sanding drum. And we are going to install the cut-off wheel in the Dremel. No tools required to do that. We'll put all this back off to the side. I'll get my two bits. Good morning, Steel Addicted. So as you're doing this, like I said, you push in on this to lock the rotation. It finds a flat spot on the... Now, as far as putting this all the way in or a little bit in, I say for stability, the farther you go in, the more stable it's going to be. But I always just go all the way in and then just back out just a little bit. Unless you're really having to reach for something, and I don't see why you would need, why even another ½ inch would matter, but you just hold this button down while you're hand tightening it right here, and that'll be plenty. So now that we got that done, like I said, I go slow. I'm not in a rush. I usually put on a video and I'll sit here and do this. And so now we get to plug it up and switch to the other camera and assume my position that I normally take. Now, a good idea, you can do this a lot easier. Let me just start off this saying that I have a belt sander out in my garage that you can just take and run this up against and totally just shred the heck out of that flipper tab. And it's going to heat up the blade quite a bit, and you're going to need to dip it in water in between. You're going to need to keep it cool and lots of different things, but you can do it in 30 seconds. So if you choose to do that with a belt grinder, that's all you. And there have been times where I've done that. I like just sitting back, relaxing, and doing modifications of my knives. So I'll put on a video and just sit here and do it in here instead of going out to my exterior garage, having all that, deal with all that sparks flying everywhere and all that mess. So there's always more than one way to do something. And yes, you will learn that a much easier, faster, simpler way is with the belt sander. But that's not what we're going to do this morning. So now I got to figure out if my camera is going to work like I hoped it would. But I'm going to sit here and talk to y'all for a minute. And maybe we'll type in some knives. Let's see. What are we looking about? Is it Amzier Tools Razor? Let's go look at it. Amzier Tools Razor. We get easily sidetracked in this channel. Is that this thing? Is this what we're talking about? Laid off Pete? What's going on with the shade? Oh, shade. Oh, Shady. Be Shady. What's up? I got you. Oh, he makes his blades out of Magna Cut? He makes these inserts out of Magna Cut? Is that what you're saying? S35VN. Oh, okay. I'm not, oh. Let me find his he's got a website now, evidently. There's a Damascus one. Huh. Let's look at his does he have a link to his Etsy? It's Amsler. I think it's got the same stuff. Oh, there's oh, those are pretty cool. That's actually super cool. How big's the large? The pinion. Full size is 4 inches. Overall length. Okay, large is 1 3/8 and 1 1/4. But that's the actual edge, which is just, no, that's just that whole part. So just an inch long? It's pretty wild. See, I have to pay attention to stats because when I look at that, I assume it's going to be a regular size knife, not an inch long blade. I mean, I get it. Like, you have to be careful, but seeing that in his hands with that case showed me how small and tiny it was. That looks like a mini knife. Like, all right. Super cool, though. Might be the coolest neck knife ever. Good call. I'm going to bookmark dude's site on his Etsy. I like going to Etsy anyway, so it'll give me a reason. Thanks for that, man. I didn't know about that knife. Still addicted. Are you saying I've got that knife, the 9402. It was one of the first like nicer Damascus inlay knives that I got. I keep it next to my other like nicer Damascus ones. It's in a line back here with there's the 9402. Did you buy one also? Is that what you're saying? That's the 9402 though. It lives next to the Kubi Vagrant, I believe it is. That has Damascus inlays. And then it lives next to the Wild Species from Ramet. And then that lives next to the, holy cow, that is no good. Look what has happened. This is a good quality control report. I just pulled this knife out of my nice case and I don't even feel it down in there. So I have no idea where it is. At some point, moving it around the cases, this Ramet Peregrine Falcon has lost its button. That is no good. I don't even know how it was attached and how it came off. It must have been screwed on. Knife still functions fine. That was next to it. Wow, that's alarming. I will have to take apart this case now and try to find it. And then that's next to the Ramet Kingfisher, which is a no-screw knife that you have to take apart by prying out the back spacer. You open it up like that, and that unlocks the whole knife, lets it come apart. Super cool mechanism. Man, I take super good care of my knives, and I don't know how. I mean, and Ramet makes a good quality knife. I don't care what you're trying to say there. Evidently, it's been loose for a long time. If it screws on, it does screw on. So it's been loose for a long time, and me just opening it has made it rotate. And I will find it and reinstall it. I'm not going to do it during the video, but and it doesn't stop it from locking up or working perfectly. So I'm cool with that. Great knife. I will take apart the case. It's yes, it's got good action. It's got great action. It is super comfortable. All the edges on it are rounded over and have nice roundovers. And it is super comfortable everywhere. Even the clip is all rounded. Everything about it is rounded. Cool back spacer. Solid, like I like a big, it's half the knife, a little over half. It's got this front finger choil and the back one that it is super comfortable. Like right there, I mean, it's one of the most comfortable front choil knives that I've got. It feels great. And the lockup is great on it. It's not too aggressive, about 30%, about where I like them. Doesn't completely drop shut, but I mean, it doesn't take anything to close it. Like I can just barely do a couple of tiny little. It's a great knife for 170 bucks or whatever it was. And if you can get a coupon on it, then I would definitely get it. All right. I've gotten sidetracked. This Wild Species is a super cool shaped knife too. If y'all haven't seen the Wild Species and you like that kind of arch bow like the TRM Atom, I noticed Knives Are Life had Sever 7, or maybe both of them had a TRM Atom. This is a beautiful knife with a beautiful shape. Awesome feel. It's the Wild Species. The front flipper jimping is perfect. Everything about the Wild Species. You can't, the thumb studs, let me see. Oh, they work fine too. I've never tried to reverse flick it. Yeah, you can still reverse flick it. But beautiful knife. All right, back to what we were doing. I had my cigarette, had a break. Let's get into it. So, the way I like to work is like I'm about to show you. And I'm going to set my coffee cup here because I'm going to be drinking on it. All right. So here's what I normally do. I sit in front of my coffee table with the TV on the other side of it. And I hold my blade and I hold my Dremel. And I use my arm on my body right here to support the blade. And I grab the blade just like this and hold it. A lot of people that I've told how I do things always talk about how they tape off stuff. And I'm going to show you why. For one, I've got to put an edge on this blade. So I really don't care. And I'm pretty confident in my skills with the Dremel. But if you need to cover stuff with tape to protect it, you know, it's going to go right through the tape. But if it makes you feel better, then put you some tape on there. But the way I'm going to show you how to do this and the way this rotates. So I'm right-handed. Okay. So when you turn on this rotary tool, let me turn the microphone over here to this other camera, since I'm going to be sitting here for a minute. All right, so now I got the microphone over here. Hopefully it sounds just as good, or if not better, than the one we were using. What I was saying is when you hold this in your right hand and you're touching something with this Dremel, the way the rotation is it's this way. Okay. So when it hits something, it's wanting to pull that way. Okay. So if you hold the blade like this and you start working from this side, it is always trying to get away from the blade. If for some reason you get some kickback or something happens and you don't like it and the Dremel doesn't like it, then it's gonna go that way. The Dremel tool is gonna go that way. Never towards you unless you're on the bottom of this. Now, if you were working on the bottom of this, then it's going to kick it towards you. So don't reach under thinking it's still going to go that direction because you're working on the bottom of it. But in my opinion, you shouldn't be working on the bottom side when you can't see it. All right. So that being said, again, do this at your own risk. But as you'll see when I start, it's not very dangerous to a competent person. So I usually start with about somewhere around, let me see where the camera's at, up about 2 to 3, 2,000 to 3, I mean, number 2 to 3, just to get going. I don't go much further than 3 for the whole process, but I start off slower just to get my notch going. And what we're going to do here, and I hope y'all can see the camera up here. And I hope it's going to focus. But we're going to start putting a notch, and you can see the way I said that those scales were shaped. There's actually a curve here. Can you see that curve? So when we get done, we're going to try to match that curve, and it'll match the curve on the back of the scales. We'll try to get it perfect, but you can see a pretty cool line there that it made. It made two little, I don't know if y'all can see that, but I can see that. So when I cut my line, I'm going to try to go right below that lowest point across. So it'll be quite a bit below, and you can angle it and you can curve it. So we're going to start just right below that line. And we know we need to go up to that line to where there's no black left. Sorry. We're going to need to go up to that line to where there's no black left. So if you see any black at all, know you're safe. So as long as I get my notch started over here and across the top, and I still see some black, then I haven't gone too far. So I'm simply just going to turn on the Dremel. And hopefully you can see. If you can't, hold on. I think the angle that I'm going to be at, let me turn that off for a second. I'm going to need to go down just a little bit more with the camera. Maybe like that. All right. Let's try this again here. And it's going to be even more. I use my chest and my side to kind of stabilize it up by my face. You know, I'm going to give me a second. I'm just trying to give you a good view. You're going to see my big belly. I don't care if you see my belly, but anyway. All right. Yeah, that's a much better view. And I'm still worrying about the view, so let me get it right. And move over that way a little bit. All right. So I'm just going to start on the edge and work up towards the top and get me a line started. And I'll show you in just a second where I'm at. And a good thing to keep it from kicking back is to always move your Dremel up and down this direction, so that you're widening the hole that you're making and making enough room for the blade that the blade doesn't get pinched. So it's going to kick back when the blade gets pinched. And I'm hoping you're able to hear me. I'm trying to not go past the black. Of course, I'm on the... And I know with the width of Sharpies how much... I'm going to have to grind up past that to actually get it. Alright. So I go a little bit and then I let it cool down, and I have a fan beside me right over here, and I usually just hold it up against the fan. But as you can see, what I've done is I've started out here on the outside and found my line, and then I've just simply started to work across the top of it, trying to stay right behind that black line. And you can see up there at the top of that silver, I can feel the heat, by the way, out here at the pivot. So I am going to turn on the fan because I don't have any water handy. But if you had some, you could do it quickly. I just don't like making a mess. So I use my hands to like soak away the heat, and use this fan that's beside me here. Let me turn the fan on. And it just takes a second for it to cool down. So what you're trying to do, you're trying to start out here on the end so that any kickbacks will kick it that way. And then you're going to work your line across the top of where you want to go. And then you're just going to start going deeper with that. So I can't see the chat at the moment. So, and let me explain one thing that I was saying about kickback. So when you're making a groove in this blade, if the groove is only just as wide as this blade, then it can't. If you twist and turn your hand any direction, it might squeeze I'm calling it a blade. I mean, squeeze the tool and shoot the tool out. So
as I'm cutting, I try to pull down a little bit to grind and make that channel a little wider than this tool. That way it won't ever grab the tool and send it off. And that's just something I've learned from experience. And the good thing about it is you can sneak up on that line because you're not worried about damaging the stuff on this side of it. So I'm just going to keep going. Until I've got a line all the way across the top of the knife. And if y'all notice, at this speed, I haven't gotten a single kickback. So now you can see, or I hope you can see, that I've got a notch all the way across the top of the blade. So, you can see that it is wider than this tool. If I bring this tool up here, I've been kind of pulling down as I'm cutting, and you can sneak up to the line and it drops in the little line, and then you just continue across. And then all you're trying to do now it's easier if you get, once you get this line established, you can come out to the end and cut all the way through it, and it goes quicker. And what I'm showing you can be done lots quicker. And this is the way I've had relaxed fun doing it. Now I'm just going to go back over the whole thing kind of once to try to get that groove deeper. And then I will show you what I'm talking about working it from the end. Now I'm going to go up. Now I've just kind of worked my channel a little bit more. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn up the speed a little bit. I'm going to start working from this side over here back towards this side, staying in that groove, using that top groove to kind of guide me as I go. So I didn't turn up the speed. I'm already on 3,000, so I'm going to go up a little bit higher, maybe 4,000. And what I'm going to do is, I hope you can see, is I'm going to find my little groove. And I'm going to go out here to the end. Yeah, that's a little more speed than I want. So I'm going to go back to about 3,000. I was happy where I was at. Now, I don't know if you can see, but I've started going in the end here all the way through it. And here in a second, you'll start seeing a line through there. You can at the moment. And make sure to use your fingers to tell how hot the blade's getting. I'm not staying on it too long to get the blade super hot. And I've got a fan literally right here. Like I'm 6 inches from a big fan. So it's not getting hot. So here in a second, you ought to start seeing more of that notch start forming. I'm just trying to be careful. All right, so after that little treatment, I don't know if you can start to see skin through that notch, but there's quite a bit. I can't get this camera exactly right. I'm hoping y'all can see that. I can't tell. Let me get it up here closer. You can see at the end here that I'm right on that black line. I've gone all the way across, and now I'm going to start working in from the end and going all the way through. Hopefully you're able to see that. Let me have a sip of coffee. All right, I'm gonna look at the And you could go faster at a higher speed, but this is safe. Like, this is safe. This is easy. Everybody can do this. Doesn't take. All right, so that's about how long I do it in little bursts, and you could keep going until you get a lot of it done. And some of y'all might be saying, sitting here, that, oh my God, this video is going to take forever. He's going to take forever. Well, it's not that. I'm just trying to show you the safe way to do it. And you can see that I'm working my way across. It doesn't take that long. We've got time, and you can see on the back here. You can see where I've gotten all the way through it now. So that shows up. I can feel from the heat that it's not so hot that I can't touch it, so it hasn't reached this. There's no heat at the sharpening edge, so the hardness hasn't been affected. We're still good. We're gonna keep moving our way down. The main reason I go up a little bit of speed is because you hear it binding down as you get. All right, these tools, did y'all hear that? That kicked into like overdrive. These cheaper rotary tools aren't made to be used as constantly either, so that's why I try to give them a little bit of a break. That sounded like these yeah, that changed sound on me. That was weird. I don't know what happened. All right, then I just tried to work across the top of it and widen it out. I'm just trying to narrow it down and go through it. You can see I still haven't gone across it much on the back, but I just tried to go down further across the whole thing. No, it doesn't feel hot, to answer your question. It's not overheating. I think the brushes might have slipped or something, or my hand might have hit the rotary switch, actually. All right, as you can see, I'm working farther across. I'm about to start working further across it now. It'll start going quicker because the shallower you get it across the whole top, then the less you have to cut through when you start going from the end. Still not heated up to where I can't squeeze it right there. I'm just making sure to keep it cool. I got this fan blowing on me. Just taking my time. I've got more than half of it cut across the whole thing, so it's not as thick now as I start coming from the end. But as I'm doing this, as you hear that noise of it kind of slowing down, that means it's grabbing. So I'm trying to widen that groove by pulling it out away from the sharp edge of the blade. I'm pulling it down to try to widen that groove a little bit so that it won't kick back on me. And wear eye protection. I've got glasses on, so I've got built-in eye protection, and I don't ever even have to think about that. And as you see, I'm working right here beside my thumb because I know that when it does kick back, yeah, I hit the switch that time. If it does kick back, it's going to shoot it that way. It's not going to go to the left or right if I'm in a groove. I mean, I don't know. It's just all about finding some confidence with the tools. I think I'm talking too loud for this microphone. Let me turn it down just a little bit. It might be a little more hot than the other one. Yeah, there we go. That's a little better. It's closer to me, and I'm having to talk loud to try to talk over the tool. I'm just giving it time to cool, just working a little bit at a time. All right, I'm gonna turn it up a little bit. And like I said, you could continuously go all the way through this thing. See, it just grabbed it and pulled it that way. That was a prime example. You could keep going and go all the way through this thing. And I am trying to go faster. It usually takes me about 30 minutes to do a flipper tab if I'm just watching something, just because I'm not in a rush. And I know with this video, I need to speed it up. So I'm going to try to be a little bit more aggressive and get through there. But if you wanted to, you could crank this thing on up. And the higher, faster speeds you get, the more dangerous it becomes. And the quicker it goes through. So there's always a trade-off for everything. So work with what you're comfortable with. Don't be in no rush. Don't let it grab and get the chop saw. Yep. Get the bandsaw out. Get anything out. If you want to, I mean, a grinder just works simple. But a lot of people want to learn how to work and do stuff with a Dremel while they're just sitting there relaxing. And you can see I'm about to start making lots of progress because it's not going to take but a couple more times and we'll be through. All right. Yeah, Dremels are very limited. They're not. I mean, they're little hand tools, so you have to take into account. We're doing these mods with something people can do in apartments, you know, that don't have a nice exterior garage with all kinds of shop tools. I've got a belt sander and stuff out there, and I've gotten to the point where I'll go rough it in out there and then use the Dremel with the sanding drum to like tweak it up. But I just, you know, it's something about this hobby. We don't do it because, I mean, I don't have anything but time. So just the fact that I'm getting it done myself without having to send it off to somebody else. Tommy, what's going on, buddy? Hope y'all are doing good. We're not far from done with this part of it. If y'all can see how thin it's getting. It's just when you come in from the end here, it does pinch the blade and want to shoot it. So I'm just taking my time, being careful. I mean, I am on camera and I don't want to look like a complete fool by cutting my finger off. All right, guys. Tommy, what's going on? Ron Crow. What are y'all carrying today? Blessed Knives, yeah. That's why I'm just going slow. Working from this side of the blade where it's going to go that way. Trying to teach just some good lessons about how they work and how they don't work. This Dremel doing its own thing. Yeah, I don't know, something's up with this Dremel. It's speeding up and slowing down, and the motor, I might have to send this one back. I did just get it, so. I can't, if I turn the speed up too high much, it goes out of control. It's the impatient people that end up hurting themselves with a Dremel. You just take your time and try not to do too much. You won't skip off. I mean, y'all see me this whole time. I haven't jumped off or looked like it was gonna do something crazy this whole time. It's because I'm just taking my time, pushing out through there. Getting through. I'm almost half. I mean, it's super thin. It's all going to come off here in just at once here in a second. The wheel's not getting worn out. It's not much smaller than it was. Still very big. The edge of it might be. Yeah. Oh, I know they don't. But I've also got this at like 2,000. I don't have it. They go up to like 10,000 RPMs, and I'm just taking my time. They cut a lot better the faster you go, too. They'll really remove some material the faster you get them going. I should put a new wheel on here just to show you how fast they cut, but We're almost done anyway. I'm also working without any water to cool it down, so I'm having to... See, that was the first time it kind of vibrated and grabbed it a little. That's because I was trying to push too hard. See, it grabbed again. I'm not trying to lose the heat treat on the blade. And I don't want to, I'm not. What's up, Brand New American? Just doing slow mods. We're almost through though. This is a thick blade too. Like, I know from doing knives that this sucker is super thick. It's a big beefy knife. Like, top to bottom, this blade is super thick, and it's about to, we're almost through the whole thing. Like, I need to, I wish I had another one of these ready. They're not that hard. Let's throw another wheel on real quick while we're letting that cool for a second and see how much better another wheel does. Because it does seem to be like taking a little longer than normal. So I'm just going to grab another one of these and dang it. Come out of there. Wow. All right. I just grabbed another disc and we're gonna swap it out real quick. Let everything cool down. The one on this one is only the flathead. Sorry. Dang it. All right. I'm dropping everything now. Let me swap this blade out. What did I just do with the other one? Oh my God. I need help. This little thing is pointless. This little screwdriver. I don't know why I don't have another one of my little small kits here. When you do swap these out, they've got a little, like a paper washer thing on both sides of it. I don't know what I did with the disc I just pulled out. Oh, here it is. It's on my shirt. They got a little paper disc that kind of holds them in place with a screw. I'll show you. I'm sure most of y'all know about Dremels. I mean, but I'm giving this to people who don't know nothing about nothing. So, there's these little, there's a paper like things. There's one on the screw still. But when you put the new one on, make sure one of those is on both sides. And I don't guess, I mean, it really matters all that much until you get down to the middle, but dang it. And my fan just blew that little thing. Well, I will never find that. So we're just going to go with the top one for now. Not going to try to find that on camera. What kind of bait money you talking about? Chum or like fish? You got to buy live fish to fish for big fish in the ice. Figure that's probably what you use. We use a lot of different crankbaits and different baits, but I'm sure when you drill a hole in a piece of ice, you're just trying to give them something because they're super hungry. So you just give them another fish real easy, I'm guessing. Bait fish. Is that what you're talking about, Brand New American? Alright, we got that swapped out. Where did that little friggin'... Oh my god, I don't know. Never find it. Now this is cooled down. The blade's cooled down. I've cooled down. And getting your angle back is important. So doing it where you feel comfortable is also really important. Yeah, it's definitely grabbing. I'm going to go across the top just because of how much it's grabbing. Yeah, this Dremel's having issues. Going up and down in power and speed. I wouldn't be surprised if it quit working halfway through the knife. And I got to go out to the belt sander and show y'all how to finish it. That one grabbed. This Dremel, this is only the second time I've used it. And the first blade wasn't this thick. Not doing much of any difference in that last disc. I think this thing, yep, that little, you got to have that little paper disc. Shipwrecking on the toilet. Wow, that thing sucks. Whatever that kit, hold on just a second. That thing just fell apart. Like, that was pretty crazy. The middle just came out of that thing. I gotta put that other one back on, which means I gotta try to find that little... We're almost done though, I promise, with this part of it. What in the world? Like, I don't know where that little... Let me find another one. Hold on. I've got another stupid Dremel. I don't know what's up with it going faster and slower and faster and slower. It sucks. I think I've already... Yep. I'm going to have to buy some more of those little things. Alright, about to get out the hacksaw. Dang it. It's crazy. I don't know why the middle of that one just disintegrated. That was pretty wild. What you get for buying cheap stuff. 14 years later, yes, Scott. Shipwrecking on the toilet, huh? You got a copper toilet. Yeah, these brush motors suck. Yeah, 14 years later. It helps when your tools work right. When you don't pick a blade that's an 1/8 of an inch thick to do. I mean, that's a thick blade. This blade is thick. That's a thick boy, like, that's a lot of steel. I picked the wrong knife to do on video, that's for sure. They usually never take this long. There's a lot of metal to cut through with a little Dremel. I should have done a video with the belt sander, but there's belt sander videos all over YouTube. That's what you see on all the knife makers channels. And like I said, you can't do that in an apartment. I'm sure there's a lot of people who will find value in this. There are lots of knife people who won't. So I'm not making it for the people who won't find value in it. I'm making it for the people that will. Since I can't feel the heat coming through, I'm just going to keep going. But this is a super thick blade. And I will definitely remember next time to do a flipper tab delete on a knife that's half this thin. The hotter the steel gets, the less it cuts too. Because you're hardening the edge. And so with a little Dremel and a big thick knife blade like this, it does take a little time. And I started off the video saying that you could use a belt sander and do this a lot quicker, cheaper, easier in every way possible. But we're almost done. Like I said, that's like an 1/8 of an inch thick steel. I mean, that's a chonker. Just for example, that's another big, thick blade, and this one's way thicker. All right, let's finish this up. And like I said, I don't care what y'all saying in the chat. I know it's taking forever. If you don't think I don't know I could have done it in 45 seconds out on my belt sander, then you're silly. But there were lots of people that wanted a Dremel video. And I just happened to pick the wrong blade to cut the tab off of. With the wrong Dremel. And also be prepared. This piece of metal will be hot when it comes off of here. I like to stop and take pictures anyway, like when I'm getting like almost all the way through it, just to show the steps and the progress. Like I said, a lot of times I'll sit here and it'll take me a good 30 minutes to completely finish one. It's probably taken 30 minutes to grind this one. We haven't even done the sanding yet. But like I said, it's just a hobby that you can sit back and enjoy and do to your own knife. And anybody that's in a hurry to get it done quicker, then do it quicker. No problem with that either. But some people just want to relax and not be dangerous. The same people that are talking about how long it's taken are the same people that have got hurt before by their Dremel. It's about to come off now, so I don't want it to drop on me, so I'm gonna lean forward and finish it off real quick. Alright, we're done. Sorry it took so long. Shitty Dremel, shitty tools. Tab's gone though. Heat treat's fine on the knife. Tab's gone. We can now change tools and start the sanding, refining process. And y'all don't have to watch, man. It's all good. Like, I'm not worried about it either. Like, I just know, I mean, I know how YouTube comments can get, so I've already prepared myself for that. Nothing you can do to discourage me from doing what I'm going to do. Don't care how many times you talk about how long it took. It got done, and it got done safely, and it got done in a way that other people could copy it. So, there you go. And I think that's more important than anything, the fact that it's more accessible by everyone. Like Sever 7, like I was telling him, you know, $15 at Harbor Freight, and you can get one that'll break down like this one too. Yeah, I think my problem is I'm going to have to just buy a good set if I want to do any kind of Dremel work. Because this is like the second one that's burned up, and this is only the second time I've used this one. And I'm not saying burn up completely, but I'm saying with the motor acting weird and doing like, I don't know, weird slowdowns and speed ups. It's like the brush is like it's well, it's the signs of a bad electric motor, what it amounts to. Now, as you can tell, since that took a while, we still got a little bit more to do here. What did I do with that stupid? See, I'm losing parts too because I'm setting them to the side. All right, hold on. Hold on just a second. All right. I put tools where I usually put stuff. So now we got the sanding drum on. And we're just going to sneak up to that line that we drew earlier and refine it and get the fitment like we like it. And the way I do this one is I hold it flat so that I can get perpendicular. And you can go a lot higher speeds with this, but I try to hold this flat so that when I lay this on here, you're doing it evenly. You want the angle to be square on this. And our line had a little curve in it. I'm actually going to reassemble and see what it looks like, or partially reassemble, before we get to grinding too much more on it. Hold on. We'll go back to the other camera for a second. I'm going to see how it that's actually probably good. We can just round that out and be done. That way we don't have to do much. I'm not going to try to match that back pattern because it's pretty wild. And make sure that when you're doing this the same direction you did the cutting in, away from you, because it'll pull the same direction. Now we're basically just trying to make it look pretty. And the way these are shaped, it's really easy to do finger choils with them, because you can just use the shape of the drum to like produce the finger choil. And this will get it a lot hotter quicker than the blade does, because you're maintaining contact pretty much constantly. Now I've got that looking pretty good and shiny and smooth, but something you need to do is you need to look at it from the end and try to make sure that it's flat with the it's 90 degrees with the blade. So it looks like this side is a little higher on mine, so I'm gonna push more and just grind on that side more while I even it out. So I'm going to make sure that I'm just hitting this side until they get even. Now there's lots of times where you have to be really careful about stop pins and not taking off any of the material by where a stop pin will be. So now I'm going to look and see if that's 90 degrees again. It's super hot. It's a lot hotter than it was. And actually, that is looking really good. I don't know. I'm going to have to get the other camera. But it's looking very smooth, very even. If this one wasn't stone washed and acid washed, I would go down in this choil and round it out kind of even with the new area for the tab. But that's super shiny now. It's smooth, it's even, it looks right, still got a good sharpening choil. I think we can reassemble. So let's throw it back together and see what she's doing. I am going to wipe it off. I'm going to clean everything with that alcohol. Like I said, all the Sharpie marks and get a paper towel. All right. Well, 91% alcohol. Back of the blade scales, right? Went against that side. The back of the blade scales, right? Went against that side. And then the blade itself. All the grinding off. Alright, now let's throw it back together. Put a little oil. Bearing. Alright, this comes the fun part now. Let's see. We had to do it. Well, we did it how we did it. Alright. Backspacer goes here. This pin goes between. Make sure I got this right. Goes through there. Through there. Through there. Through there. Alright. Since we already disassembled and reassembled this one on that other video, kind of remember how it goes. And what kind of order you have to do things in. Alright, we're almost done. Almost back together. What in the world am I doing? Alright, let me hold those while I get this pivot put back in. Stupid. Alright, I got that front screw in. Oh, I didn't put the stupid. Oh wow, did I do it again? Nope, it goes on this side. We're good. Almost forgot to put the clip on again. Stupid lanyard thing fell out again. That's the little part that's annoying. That external. Alright, let me get one of these screws in. Which one goes where? Are they both the same size? I'm going to say this one goes here. Oh, let me switch the microphone back to the other one. Hold on. I'm used to having it as the webcam. So I don't know if I'm sitting up, if the other one's going to be able to hear me or not. Give me just a second. If you get it cut close to the line, it doesn't take very long to finish it up with that drum. All right, got that one on. I gotta get this stupid thing on. All right, went all the way through that time. We're good. Clip the last screw. Man, I don't know what was up with that Dremel. Like I said, it's the second time I've used it. I just bought it. Ordered it delivery from Home Depot. We're perfectly centered. We're lined up perfectly even across the back. Actually, it's a little higher. All right, looking good. Very smooth across the back. No lines. It's very shiny. It sits back behind the edge. Good. All right, flipper gone. Knife lines fixed. No more nubs sticking out the side. Now there was one more thing we were going to do, and all we got to do is use this. And trust me, it won't take long. Is that giant mouse with the copper? Let's see, where are we at? Right here. This Ace Nazca. The end of this needs to be, it pokes into your palm and leaves a mark. I can show you after just holding it for maybe 10, 11. Now I'm starting to feel it. Probably about right now it's left a mark. Right now you can see the big divot that thing put in my hand. And it will leave a red mark really quick. So I think that it probably, yeah, I should be able to just slide that back spacer out without disassembling the knife. So I will do that. Man, I can't believe how long that took. That blade is thick though. That blade is very thick. If you have one of those knives, you know what I'm talking about. I can measure it and show you, but I know you know anyway. I haven't lied to you yet. Why would I start now? Right? Man, I'm excited. 2 more days till the giveaway, till I get to give away a knife or two. They might be shoulder, but I'm thinking I can just raise it, loosen this enough that I can get the back spacer out maybe. Yeah, that side came out. It is going to be kind of hard with them both shouldered. Dang it. Well, I can take this side off and it should be able to. Oh, yeah. Duh. I won't have to. Hopefully the scales will come off without having to take it apart. But no.
Where's the liner? Oh, the pocket screw is still attached to the liner. Duh. Now why is it not coming apart? Oh my god. Because the stupid... No, there's no screws in it. What in the world? Why is that not coming apart? We already took this knife apart once. Oh, it's the D-shaped pivot. Wow. That thing. Alright, screw that. I'm just going to get the backspacer out. I could do it with it on the knife, but I don't want to do that. Why do I pick the stupidest knives to work on? Why's it always got to be a crossbar lock that fights me every bit of the way? And why won't this come apart? My God. There's no screws in this thing, except for the clip screw on the other side. I know that's not doing it, but yet I cannot get this apart. I know the stupid pivot, the crossbar doesn't have to be somewhere. It goes through the milling, I can tell. It's got to be the D-shaped pivot. And the crossbar, possibly. I don't know. Did they do some kind of voodoo? I know I've had this knife apart. There's no screws in it. And other than just pushing the pivot out, which I don't want to do, why won't this knife come apart? I don't want to pry on the blade, that's for sure. And these are too big to come out. I can't rotate it because of the stupid crossbar. Oh my God. I think I'll just leave it on. How about that? How about we do that? I'm confident with my Dremel skills enough that I'm not going to hit anything but the end of it. So I'm just going to say screw it, and we're going to do it while it's on the knife. Because I've not had luck today, and it doesn't seem like it's changing. This knife does not want to come apart at all, even with me prying on it, which is perfectly fine because I'm not in the mood to mess with it today, honestly, especially after just doing that last one. So I'm just going back with what I know. Hope y'all are doing good still. Not even hit 2 hours yet. We're good. That did take a long time with that stupid grinding. Oh well. At least somebody that didn't know anything about Dremels learned something about them. And all the rest of you got some enjoyment out of the deal, regardless. Whether it was a laugh or a learn or both or whatever. It's all good. And I put the wrong screw. Oh my God. See, that's the kind of day it is. I put the stupid wrong screw in the clip when I know that it's the big one. Big flat one. Oh yeah. Yep, gonna be one of those days. Might as well just get ready for it. I knew yesterday was too good of a day. I had a great day yesterday. Hope y'all did too. Hope you got everything you wanted and some yesterday. I cannot even see at the moment to get this stupid clip screw in. And of course it's one of these wire clips where it's wanting to fight me and not go down in there. Y'all have to bear with me for just a second while I get this stupid screw in. It's one of those ones that's bigger than the clip, so you have to like put it in and set the clip down. Oh my God, I drop it on the floor first. Make sure you do that at least once. You got to kind of hold it with the clip while you lower it down in there. If I could get the stupid screwdriver on it, that would help, but non-magnetic kind of sucks sometimes. All right, I finally got it, kinda. What in the world is going on? All right, finally, good grief, man. What is up with today? It won't take but just a second to grind off the back of this point. And I'm just going to show you at the same kind of angles. Make sure you're keeping it where it goes away from the blade. I'm not going to tape up anything because, like I said, I don't think I'm going to have to do much, and I'm not going to hit anything else. And it sticks out far enough that I really didn't need to take it apart. Although it's fairly close to the frame, but the frame, I mean, if the frame's hurting too, then it probably needs to go too, but all right, everything's still good with it. Let me switch back to the other camera and finish this up real quick. Morning, Jim Cox. So on this one, I'm going to hold it like this and just hit the end of it. I'm just trying to hit this let's see. No, I have better. It's better this way because I got more brass up here at the top. All right. I'm just going to round this out a little bit. Well, it feels so much better already. Well, I touched the titanium. I barely touched the titanium. It's alright though, it was right on that curve. Now let's see. I can already tell. Way better, wow. Man, it's crazy how little of a point there has to be a hot spot. Like the fact that's rounded out now, man, makes a total difference in the palm of my hand. Crazy. And I still don't know why this stupid knife didn't come together. Sometimes you have to get this out of the way because the sides of the scales there'll be like one little place where this will slide through. But this one's even all the way across, so I can't figure it out why. I mean, I think maybe the D-shaped pivot in the the D-shaped pivot was locked in so tight to this other side here, or to this other side, that it just wouldn't come off. And if I did pry it loose, it would have been a pain in the butt to get back together. Tolerances, can be like tiny. Look how thick. I mean, that blade is a chunky blade. The FJ has got a kind of a thicker blade too, but it's not even nearly as thick as that one. I picked I picked the thickest possible knife to cut a tab off of today. It's way thicker than the PM2. There's the Walmart knife. You see, it's 2.5 times as thick as the Walmart knife. I think, oh yeah, Sever 7, if you're around and can hear us, which knife were you wanting to modify the scales on to do the reblade on? Because if it was a Mac, I don't know which knife it was. The texture came out good on that though. It's good and flat and even and straight. And the lines on the knife look a lot better. Oh, tomorrow morning we will do some sharpening. I was going to do that on this video, but it ended up taking too long with this stupid thick boy. And that disc hasn't changed size much. And that new disc just disintegrating in the middle was wild. Jodie Foster, huh? Yeah, the inside just coming out of that. That was wild. Throw that one away. Like McNeese. The middle knife is a FJ, a Laconico. On washers that I'm trying to wear in. This knife does have good action though. Was it the 3.5 or the 3.0 or what? The Mac. And I guess by Mac you're meaning McNeese. I mean, there's tons of Macs, I guess. Which knife was it, Sever 7? I got both of them right here. If you're talking about these. I think you were talking about this edge, maybe? Were you talking about the part of the scales right there? So that maybe the reblade, you could get a hole in it? Is that what you're talking about? I'm curious what you're trying to do. I'm off all the way until 11 o'clock tonight. Pretty wild. Well, I'm glad I didn't damage myself or the knife at all while doing that. I only had a couple times where it like kind of jerked away from me. It's a lot of tab to get off a knife. It's a thick boy. But like I said, that stop pin, it can affect, you can grind away a place that touches that stop pin, so you don't need to do that for sure. But don't be scared of the Dremel. Like I said, it always pulls away from you. So if you're working on a knife, if you got the knife out of the scales and you're working that way, it'll pull away instead of towards the knife. As long as you're on the top of it, don't go around to the bottom like I said. What are the knives you're saving for? We'll do it live. Whoa. Sever 7? What part of the knife were you trying to take off? I was reading the chat. You're talking about doing a reblade. I'm not sure what you're trying to do. Yeah, we'll go look at whatever. 2 folders and 1 fix from Bless. I'm sure they're on. Are they on his Instagram? Can you send me a link? Do we have a link? Can you post the link? Let's see. We already looked at his page once, but what are we looking for? Are you talking about Sever 7? Stay with me for just a second. Are you talking about right here? Even that out? Oh, you have to be a mod to post a link. Well, where am I looking for it at? Instagram. You talking about right here, Sever 7? Are you trying to even this off? Like where it's rounded? Okay. You could easily just do it with the same. Like that's all you really need to do. That is one of those drums. And with the scales apart, no blade, no sharp blade. All I would do is just hold it like this and keep this perpendicular to the scale. Or you're going to be doing one at a time anyway, but you want to still keep it perpendicular. So just hold it, make sure you're perpendicular, and just hit that off until you got a good curve that sweeps together. Shouldn't need anything more than that. You can see where started wearing off that stuff in the middle. But I could have shifted. I usually move back and forth across it to try to keep these things. But yeah, titanium. Yes, you would have to re-wink it or stonewash it or yeah, it would be shiny there for sure. Cloth between the Dremel and the scale. I mean, this surface treatment, you could even it out. The length of that curve, at least stop it like right there where that edge is. But I mean, if you're going to be reblading a knife, you could just make this piece a different. I mean, you could re-stonewash it. You could. I'm about to get. Dang it. I'm about to get a cabinet for my compressor and get some media to do some media blasting. And try to figure out how to replicate some of these finishes. I know turning them dark like this with the titanium is a lot harder than steel. I've got the acids and stuff that you use to do it, but just haven't done it. We're going to do that one Thursday too, is we're going to figure out how to darken titanium. You can do it with WD-40 and a torch, But on scales, a lot of times you'll warp the scales because of how big they are. That technique works really good on like smaller things, like backspacers, etc. But clips, and then you can do it with the acid. And I've got the acid. I bought it. I just haven't done it yet. But darkening titanium is a lot harder process than coloring titanium. And if you did the scales, if you did this whole side and then roughed it up a little bit, who's to say? I don't know. Whatever. Well, they know how this one was finished because it was done by SRM, more than likely. Sanrenmu probably made this knife. But when you look up tutorials on blackening titanium, it's a lot different than and there's all kinds of posts about it. Nobody ever so if you're just trying to get the shape, then there's no problem about that shiny part where you sand it. But what I would do is I would just let me show you exactly what I would do, because this might be easier for you and might actually be cheaper, a lot safer. I would take a picture of the knife you're wanting to do and make sure that you get a good down angle. Let me show you what I would do. I would take a picture of that knife, just like that. I would edit that picture. I'd crop it a little bit, get it where I want it. Whoops, sorry. Get it how I want it. All right. Then I would open this program I have called Pixaloop, I believe. PixArt. It's called PixArt. I would bring that picture in to the PixArt program. I would go over here and hit remove. Whoops. I would go over here and I would hit draw. Then I would hit shape. Then I would pick this oval. Then I'll pick eraser mode. And I pick the thickness of my line smaller. And I would turn on this layer. And whoops. Why is it not? Oh, fill. Sorry. And I would draw my oval or whatever shape of the curve that you want. Oh, wait, hold on. First of all, I don't know if you can see me, but I would remove the background. I would hit remove background. Dang it. Why didn't that work? Oh, that's why I opened that first program. I would open Photo Room. I would start from the program. I would hit that. I would let it remove the background from the knife. So you got just the knife. I would say give it a black background, and I would say export. So now I've got that picture with just the knife and a black background. See, I've got just that. I'd hit done. Then I would go to my PixArt program, and I would open that black one. And I would move over here to draw and hit shapes and hit fill and make it an oval and hit eraser mode. So now you got an oval or a curve. Then I would hit that checkbox, and then I would draw me an oval. Whoops, you got to highlight that layer. That kind of takes the same curve as you want it to have. I don't know, you can't see. I've actually got it in. Need to have it in black. Let me turn that one off. Whoops. Go back, undo. I don't know why it's not. Oh, eraser. No, shape. Eraser mode. Anyway, I would draw in and just do it digitally. And you can just do a little bit at a time. So you can start with just by removing that. And you can do the same thing again. Removing that. You can make another little shape. Whoops. And you can keep tweaking it until you get it all removed just like you want it. And you don't have to do it. You can send it to the guy. I would learn how to use photo editing apps and just do it digitally. Just draw it. Just take out what you want. Yeah, you could add a harpoon to it easy. So harpoon be the same way. You would just open the PixArt. Go to the picture. I don't know how to rotate the stupid thing. And I'm trying to do this. I could do it a lot easier if I was trying to. You can make any kind of shape you want. And you can make it erase or fill in. All right. Now I got it black. There we go. So for a harpoon blade, you would make the shape in a circle or a curve. You would make the curve, however, the black box, and then you would dip it down in there. Whoops. However much. Dang it. What is going on here? Hold on. Let me just show you the easy way. You go to draw, you go to shape, you go fill, you go to fill. I got these stupid boxes in the way. And then you draw the shape of your harpoon shape you want, whether it's less aggressive, and then you move that circle. Wait, hold on. Then you can move that circle. Why is it not moving? Oh my God. You can rotate it, move it. There we go. So you can take it and draw that. You can move that little part. I don't know why it's not letting me. There it goes. So you can dip down in there and make it a harpoon. Just depends on how you want to draw the, how far back you want the harpoon, how big the circle is, how big the harpoon goes. I don't know. I could show you like that. Like, you know, you can take it all the way out. Just using a erase and a shape. And then you can tweak this bottom one, how high you want the harpoon shape or how big. And if you need to draw square lines, you can do all that. You could hold another knife with a harpoon shaped blade beside it and just kind of erase that stuff. And after you have the blade changed like that, you can do the same with an oval down here. You just have to make it a lot like thinner. Like when you go to the draw and the shapes here, and you say fill it in, you just have to make this next shape super long and skinny like that. And then when you slide it up in there, it'll take out. Let me see. Let me take that out. All right. You hit that. You draw a real big, long, skinny, and then you move that to where you want the curve to be. And then you can spin it with one of these stupid buttons. There we go. So like that takes out that whole side, and you could lengthen that. You could make it less, make it more, slide it down a little bit. You can just do a little at a time. Oh my goodness. I hit something. So you can just subtract what you want, just like that. Just by erasing whatever you want. Not hard. All right, guys. I'm kind of burnt out this morning. I got to go meet this chick anyway, and I'm hungry. Hope y'all have a good day. I hope even though I picked the worst, thickest blade ever to do a tab delete on, that maybe you learned something or saw something or saw a technique that might be a little safer than what you've done before. I have no idea. If it didn't help you, that's okay too. Like I said, I did it for the people that needed it, not for the people that don't. Nick, everybody, Bob, Fuchs, Sever 7, all the Joshes, Jim Cox, appreciate it. Appreciate y'all being here and spending your time with me. Tomorrow morning we'll do some sharpening. Well, I'm glad you learned something, man. I was afraid everybody just continue to hate and say, talk about how long it took. I mean, I started off the video talking about how you can do it much faster and much easier. But it's all about using the tools you have. And if you don't have the access to a belt sander, but you do have access to $15 in Walmart, then there you go. Anyway, yep, I hope the rest of y'all have a great day. Tomorrow we're going to use the fixed angle sharpener. I promise I'm better at it than Dremels that don't work all that great. But my knife that I started with the video with this morning that had a tab no longer has one now, so I'm happy. That app that I was using it's an Android app, so I don't know if you're an Apple guy. But the two I use are PixArt and PhotoLeap. That was actually PixArt. PhotoLeap removes backgrounds really easy, and PixArt is just another. And you can revert back to whatever, And like I said, when you get in here and you start drawing those shapes, you can get a lot better. You can get way in here. Whoops. You can get way in here and you can make smaller shapes. So just like I zoomed in there, let me see. I don't have a blade with a harpoon. I don't have a knife with a harpoon blade right here handy. So I can't look at one. I guess I look at one in a picture, huh? Let me see. Sorry. Because now that I say that, you can draw fullers on them. All right, so it looks like with a good harpoon, all you really need to draw is this. Hold on. You just need to draw an oval. Whoops, sorry. The wrong button again. All right. You just need to draw an oval that's kind of long and skinny like this. And then you just drop it down into the edge of the blade. And hold on. You can drop it down further. The more you make it, I'm not getting it exact, but you can see what I mean. And you can keep moving this until you've got the harpoon shape as abrupt, or like if you want it more of an angle, you can do like that. And you can draw multiple ones across there. As long as you got that front arrow like you want the harpoon, or if you want it less aggressive or whatever, you can do that. And you can just keep drawing those across each other. Like I can put that one on. And so that gave that a little bit of a harpoon. PixArt. Yeah, PixArt and PhotoLeap. But you see right there how I kind of put that oval in. You could draw another one to take up more of that. But getting rid of the background is a good place to start, because then when you start doing black, it shows up. So I do a lot of my flipper mods and stuff just like this before I actually ever do them. Yeah, so you might not have even needed a Dremel tutorial. You just needed a good Photoshop tutorial. All right, once again, guys, I appreciate it.